fades, Sensay lights the path we've made. From stories untold to wisdom profound, we'll keep your voice where it's always found. The spark of genius, the heart of thought, in every step, the battles we fought. Preserve, extend, and innovate, for the future is ours to create. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this is Sensay. AI built, but human in soul, a legacy carved to make us whole. Through every moment we hold the light, guiding the way both day and night. Imagine a world where minds unite, ideas soar and dreams take flight. Together we stand, a force so strong, echoing brilliance where we belong. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this is Sensay. This is the anthem of innovation, a promise of endless creation. Breaking the rules, rewriting the game. Sensay is more than a name. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this Sensay. This is Sensay. Fades, Sensay lights the path we've made. From stories untold to wisdom profound, we'll keep your voice where it's always found. The spark of genius, the heart of thought, in every step, the battles we fought. Preserve, extend, and innovate, for the future is ours to create. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this is Sensay. AI built, but human in soul, a legacy carved to make us whole. Through every moment we hold the light, guiding the way both day and night. Imagine a world where minds unite, ideas soar and dreams take flight. Together we stand, a force so strong, echoing brilliance where we belong. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this is Sensay. This is the anthem of innovation, a promise of endless creation. Breaking the rules, rewriting the game. Sensay is more than a name. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this Sensay. This is Sensay.
Hello. Can everyone hear me okay? I just swapped over the headphones. Welcome to today's community call. I have just spent the last 5 minutes laughing at apparently our new theme song. I think we'll have to launch a studio album soon for Sensay. I don't think it's not. I don't know where these songs come from, but it's amazing the fact that we can actually do that. So thank you all for joining. Thanks for everyone watching. I'm Dan Thompsan, CEO at Sensay, and for those who don't know and coming to Sensay for the first time, Sensay is a platform where we create digital replicas of people with lifelike, interactive AI personalized agents. Sensay comes from an idea that I had years ago when I wrote 2 books on the concept of digital immortality and mind uploading, and it's my life's honor to be able to get this opportunity to build out this technology with an incredible team. Today on the call, we're going to go through some community updates. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the recent developments and upcoming launches that we have, as well as the latest from team members, and a little bit about the very exciting recent token action, which is great. So welcome everyone. Joining me today, we've got a couple of first time people on our community call, which is great. But yeah, it's nice to not have to do this by myself this time around. So today, joining me, we've got Lucas and John from our team. Lucas is the marketing lead at Sensay, and John heads up our AI team. So I'll let Lucas give a bit of an introduction to himself, a bit about his background, and so that everyone can get to know him as well.
Yeah, so thank you, Dan. Hi, everyone. So my name is Lucas, and I'm marketing lead here at Sensay, and it's a great to talk with you today. So before I start, I want to say how much I appreciate the energy and the passion of this community, because you guys are what makes Sensay, I think, so special. So then joked that I should take something strong to introduce myself, but I promise I will keep it smooth and like a simply good marketing campaign. So I've been lucky to work with some exciting projects, from the startups to global companies, for example, Google. And what brought me to Sensay, it wasn't not just the technology, but it was the mission of the company. So because we are here not just for creating the replicas, and we are here for helping the people to preserve their knowledge, amplify their voice, and to build the connections. So for me, this marketing is not about, it's all about the storytelling. It's about the making this amazing technology so personal and meaningful for everyone who simply use it. So that's maybe for the very beginning, and maybe you should continue.
Yeah, John, you want to give a bit of an introduction about yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm John Brunt, and I am the senior machine learning engineer here at Sensay. Originally, I came from a biochemistry and epidemiology background, and that's segues into why I find working at Sensay so exciting, because our mission of digital immortality to me represents an intersection of the biological and physical sciences with software engineering and machine learning. So currently I'm working with our AI and ML that is employed in our product, and prototyping through research and development the use of open source models, multi-agentic systems, AI agents, and other technologies to bring our product to full realization of our goals. Yeah, what brought me to Sensay was the ability to work on something that truly interested me and that I see as something that not only can be applied across many fields, but something that can truly benefit all of mankind, many applications in the future. So glad to be here. Excited to have the community that we do and to be part of this amazing team.
Amazing. Yeah, so guys, we're going to be bringing in probably more of the team over the next few weeks to these kind of community calls, just so you can get to know some of the team behind. So you're not just talking. So it's not just me talking. We've got an incredible team now. It's growing and developing, and everyone gels extremely well to actually keep building and shipping. And that's why things are coming out. And we've noticed that we don't do enough with the team getting involved in the community. So we're going to be doing more of that to really make sure that everyone just gets to know the team as for the champions, the legends that they are. So we're going to go through some updates before talking about the general sort of AI space and market in general, and then we'll open up some questions at the end. Great to see so much support already coming through. YouTube comments, Twitter comments, we can see them all. So wherever you're watching from today, please, if you have any questions, do ask them, and we will get around to them towards the end. So starting off, I think the big one that everyone always likes to talk about is the Sensay token. So over the last month, we've seen a huge increase in token price volume and attention. This has been catalyzed heavily by market conditions and being discovered by a few key influencers in the space who have been talking a lot about the Sensay project recently, which has been amazing, and great to see that all of our hard work is getting picked up by people who can start helping raise awareness of the great work the team has been putting in. And special shout out to a few of the sort of small buy groups who have been supporting us throughout the past sort of 6 months. They were in from the early days, from just after our sort of token launch back in April. They found the project, they've been supporting it ever since, and have been amazing feedback, been holding me particularly accountable to everything that the team is doing. So it's great to see everything pay off in a way that gives them I guess the sort of justification for their support of us this entire time. So thanks for the continued support, and we hope that we can keep being able to reward you for the support and the faith in me and the team going forward. We've had quite a lot of things coming out very recently. So we've had a couple of side project launches. We've had a couple of additional features being brought out. We've been improving our replica training, our pricing model and structure. We've been slowly and gradually improving the website UI, UX as a whole. We've identified an entire new user flow to make the actual training and creation of replicas as simple and easy for users as possible. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here, sorry. So yeah, no, I mean, what's been amazing really and is the continued community support. We've seen a huge amount of growth, both in terms of awareness. Our engagement numbers have gone through the roof. Our numbers of community followers and active community have increased significantly as well. This is reflected both in terms of social numbers, but also in terms of obviously volume and price on market, but the number of holders have been increasing quite rapidly recently as well. So it's amazing to see the Web3 community really get behind what we're doing, and as we grow more and more into that space, as we develop out these personalized AI agents in a way that becomes more useful for the average person as well as for large organizations, companies, it really helps the whole project to evolve and develop in the way that we've always known the potential to be, and to actually see that come to light has been incredible. We have our labs team that have been shipping a couple of products recently. So we've had DGAF.ai, which has been a bit of fun, launch on the side, and we have been spinning up quite a few different vertical sites to both test different markets and different verticals, different areas, everything from key person replication to celebrity replicas to AI networking, AI job hunting, matchmaking, all these different approaches to test the different markets and really get some quality data feedback on in terms of which verticals, which use cases for Sensay technology would be the most valuable to us as a company going forward. We've had a few really strong partnerships over the past few months, working with teams like 11 Labs, working with teams like HeyGen, working with starting to work. We've got a new partnership announcement coming out next week, which will be a huge one in terms of improving the quality of replica and AI agent responses, which I'm very excited about. But no, it's been an incredible sort of first 10 months. Obviously, we've had a lot of work has gone into it, so it's great that we're being supported by a wider community and have amazing partners to bounce off, feed off, and work with to develop everything. But that couldn't be done without team members and really great quality team members as well. We have both an excellent team that's growing. We've got about, I think, 30 to 40 team members at the moment, and it's growing. Everything from the marketing development side, we've got experts in AI and machine learning. We've got teams working on improving the site, the UI, the UX, the functionality, as well as utility and Web3 integrations. We couldn't do that alone. We have an incredible range of advisors who have a very varied background. The advisors come from huge companies, everything from Meta, Google, Oracle, Uber. We've early adopters of crypto, early adopters of AI. One of the advisors as previous head of scaling at Scale AI as well. You can check out any of our advisors on our website, sensay.io /about on the About page, to get to know them and see who's working with us closely to help us achieve our overall goals. Speaking of goals, the top goals that we have for the coming year, in the next few months, well, the next few weeks really, the launch of our API will be official. We'll be able to enable different teams, different projects, different partners to build on top of Sensay and actually leverage our technology for different use cases. This could be everything from education to healthcare to gaming for interactive NPCs. You can look at AI dating, networking, job hunting, legacy technology, and grief tech, helping out with one of our passion projects of dementia. All of these verticals will be able to be built by people who can take this personality engine and knowledge machine that we're building with Sensay and apply it to different niche use cases. And so we're super excited. We've already got 5 different teams working on different projects that will be built on top of Sensay, and we're excited to announce them and release them once the API comes out as well. The first of which is actually I think some of the community here from this project as well, is a project called KOLZ. So the KOLZ team are using the earliest iteration of the Sensay API to create AI replicas of leading influencers and figures in the crypto space. So KOLZ will become this kind of AI decentralized layer for influencer marketing, essentially taking AI replicas using Sensay's knowledge machine to create these AI replicas of these leading influencers that can be applied as Telegram bots, as Discord bots, as website widgets, in a way that enables them to share their knowledge about investing, about trading with communities. Instead of just posting once, it creates this kind of continued interaction with some of the leading minds in the space, both in terms of just users, but also projects. And it's a really strong application of the Sensay technology. Influencer and brand marketing has always been one of the ones that myself, my former role was as a CMO. So it's one that I've always really seen has a huge potential, not just in Web3 but beyond. Imagine replicating like leading brand ambassadors for any company and having their AI interact with their customers as part of that sales funnel, it becomes a really powerful application for the Sensay technology. And so, as an API customer of Sensay, KOLZ, I think will do incredibly well over the coming few months and years. So very excited for that's the big focus for the team right now is really developing out the API so that these different teams can succeed and their success becomes our success. We are the other goals for next year. We're improving our user flow, so we're going to make the replica training even easier, make it as simple as possible to create a replica so that anyone can do it within a few minutes. And we'll be demonstrating that at a few conferences next year. We'll be going to some of the leading AI and Web3 conferences to showcase Sensay technology, to build partnerships for additional recruitment and potentially for raising some investment into the company. So we've got big plans for next year. Very excited to share that with everyone, and very excited for what comes next and enabling these different projects to launch on top of Sensay that can really drive revenues for the project all around. Obviously, the AI market, Web3 market, and AI agent market specifically is really heating up. It's very exciting to be sort of at the forefront of that and have again that validation that we have been building the right thing for all this time. We've been working so hard to put this together, and we'll continue to be working hard for the foreseeable future. So it's amazing to see that the awareness, the market's finally picking up and understanding the value that we're creating here. I guess I'll put it out to the other guys. I'm rambling as always. Lucas, John, what do you think is most exciting, upcoming developments that you're looking forward to, both in terms of Sensay and the wider space? I guess Lucas, you probably talk a bit about Sensay, and then John, maybe you could talk a bit about what developments in AI are most exciting for you.
So maybe from my perspective, so what is really, really amazing and what I'm looking forward to it, so it's our global presence. It's not about the product, but it's about to capture the potential which our solution has. So this is something what is really interesting. So now mostly our current customers and users are from US and UK, but I see the potential like in a global space. So this is one of interesting thing from my marketing perspective. Then the collaborative innovation. So we are growing with the partnerships. So I think we are excited to share very soon some new of them. So maybe then we'll introduce the new one in a while, but I think this collaborative approach is very good for our marketing initiatives, and we are building the movement. So our campaign and the whole approach is not about the focus on the features of our product or platform, but it's very exciting to push the vision and the future of the connections and the creativity. So maybe it's more like a broad, but I think I don't want to be so specific because the competitors never sleeps, especially in the marketing. And that's the thing. And also so internally, so I'm very proud to my marketing team, which is growing and making great job like every day, and I'm looking forward to explore like a new platforms, new channels, and new ways how to present our service.
I'm sure everyone is very appreciative over the last month of the marketing efforts that have been going into it. So guys, everyone watching, you have Lucas to thank for that. So by all means, say thanks. John, thoughts on what are you most excited for the coming year?
I think what I'm most excited for, both in terms of what we do at Sensay and with AI in general, is twofold. So the start is where we're seeing open source models right now. A lot of times you'll hear about in the public, oh, GPT just released their Pro, or they've released O1, or Gemini just released 2.0 yesterday. And at the same time, the open source models, so models that you don't send an API call to someone to, you have control over. Those models over the years have caught up very well with the technology that's even offered with the best closed models with OpenAI and with Gemini with Claude. So the ability to use those models in specific use cases where data privacy is of the utmost importance, where we need things that perhaps the rules that a platform puts on their API don't conform with what you need. We're finally seeing that, and a lot of their abilities level up. So the ability to integrate those type of models into our workflow will be key for certain goals that we have. And that ties into as well the AI agents. A lot of people have said 2025 will be the year of the AI agent. And agents aren't a solution for everything, but what they allow you to do is not only, let's say, have a chat bot on your behalf, but it makes decisions on your behalf, and it can be personalized to you or to your company's use case. So whether it's a single agent, a multi-agentic system, what you have is the reasoning power of these LLMs, of artificial intelligence, of machine learning, to make decisions real time based on how you've had that agent set up. So maybe that'll be very different for a healthcare firm than it is for a financial firm, than it is for a gamer. But the advancement in models, combined with the advancement of how we can implement and what we can do with agents, and the more trust that we can put behind them to make truly autonomous decisions, is what excites me the most about what is coming in the next year, both in the industry in general and what we'll be able to do here at Sensay. So we'll be able to cater to your particular needs, what your business needs, what you're most concerned about, and bring those solutions to you because of the technology that is available and is becoming available very rapidly.
Absolutely. And what do you think about all of this sort of hype around AI agents right now? Is it legitimate, or is it a lot of hot air? Or what's your sort of take on all of the excitement around it, both in terms of like Web3 and AI agents, in terms of pure machine learning?
I think my take on it is in the middle. A lot of times you see AI agents or multi-agentic systems being used as catchphrases and given more credit for what they can do as opposed to what realistically they currently can do or can be trusted to do. But the reality is you can set up a system that is 100% automated to make decisions for you. So I think where we're at right now is a really good place. We're not at the point yet where I would trust a system to make super important decisions for me without at least me approving that decision. But perhaps in the next year, in the next 2 years, we'll be to the point where we're able to give a lot more of that trust. But the big thing I see with agents, and that I've done both work here, both in my other work that I do, I think it allows us to simplify our life, not only like I was talking about in terms of, we got the replica to serve as a chat bot, but it serves as a decision maker in various capacities, whether that capacity is to recommend that a patient needs to actually speak with a live physician, or recommend that, say, a particular trade with a token or with a general stock or whatever should be made. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it, but it needs some more time to fully mature.
Yeah, funny enough, I've spoken about this quite a few times, but one of the applications of AI agency is that I'm most excited for. It really is about sort of your own personalized doctor. When combined with more advanced wearables, both in terms of sight, in terms of like reading brain waves, and being able to check your blood and sort of vital signs regularly, we could really actually have this hyper personalized AI doctor that could make recommendations based off off your body's reactions, things you eat, things you do, showing what's good for you, what's bad for you, and things you should go and get checked out by real medical physicians. I think it can go a long way to helping people live a lot longer, healthier lives. So I'm very excited about that. But it's interesting what you say about, like, I think there is a lot of hype and narrative around AI agents. I think a lot of people are just throwing the words AI agent into everything in the same way they did AI for the last 2 years. And at every conference you go to these days, it's AI agent this, AI agent that. Whereas when you really look at what they're doing, there's not really AI agents being actually implemented in them yet, because essentially they're just applying some kind of, I guess, chat GPT in some way that does like a very simple basic task without actually enabling them to do something for you. So it's still kind of research and summarization rather than actual agency and autonomy. And we see the same problem in the wider industry. We see that AI adoption for a lot of companies is relatively slow. We've seen that people like the idea of AI. They love the concept of having efficiencies, having improvements to their systems, but the actual adoption and application is still met with a lot of fear and hesitancy. It's still met with the reluctancy to change existing systems. And that's the case for a huge amount of AI projects out there. Some really big names as well are really struggling to get the kind of adoption levels they need, because the costs of running their own AI is extraordinary. Not just in terms of compute costs, but also just in terms of quality of team and investment required to get any kind of market share right now is huge. So, it's one of the reasons that we developed Sensay and continue to develop and work towards, not saying we're there yet, but we continue to work towards a point where we can build genuine utility, obvious utility, and make these replicas this huge tool for productivity, efficiency, for an ability of anyone out there to extend themselves using AI as a version of themselves, whether that's through use features like email drafting, whether it's the ability to replicate recently retired individuals, whether it's the ability to replicate C-suites, to share their knowledge, their inspiration with their teams on a global basis in any language, to be able to sit into meetings to make sure that things are aligned, to be able to summarize entire teams worth of work so that it can then be communicated back to those leaders effectively. So we're working on some really incredible solutions for businesses ourselves, while also working on the API to enable others to develop out niche use cases for this type of technology as leaders in replication and knowledge management AI. So it's for us that's always in the back of my mind for sure, and I think it's a really interesting point to kind of keep in mind when we are developing out these AI agents. It's not just about throwing the name AI agent and getting people excited. There has to be genuine value and utility in what we build, and that's one of the things that we keep the team focused on developing and building as much as possible. A couple other updates before we go to questions. We've got for the wider community at the moment, we've got a Christmas secret Sensay Secret Santa initiative. So we have daily quests coming out on our quest platform, which is sensay.io/quests. This is for any community who want to earn more points, more Sensay, and earn more swag. And I think we've got a big prize as well. But Lucas, you want to get a bit more detail on the Christmas campaign?
Yeah, so it's something like an advent calendar, and so there are daily quests till December 25. So, and the last day there will be like a big prize, so like an iPhone giveaway.
Wow!
So for the winner who collect the most points during the whole quest. So I think it's something valuable at the end.
Giving away an iPhone. Who approved that? Terrible. No, that's wonderful. It's really nice. So every time we run these monthly quest campaigns, we have a huge amount of interaction from the community, which is great. And so it's great to see a nice Christmas one and daily prizes. We've got a few partners involved as well, I believe, to offer shared prizes. And as we make the platform more useful in itself, we're also starting to integrate the quests into the system to enable gamification and rewarding of interactions on the platform. So it's really nice to see the numbers growing there so strongly, and to give the opportunity for new community members to get more involved. Which reminds me of something I missed earlier. We will be announcing, we'll be announcing the airdrop of KOLZ for Sensay stakers coming soon. The snapshot's been taken, and so we'll be bringing out details of how to claim your rewards and how to claim your airdrop very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. We have, I guess, it's time for, community questions. So I don't know if we want to bring up the first question. Okay. What's the most challenging achievement for Sensay in 2024? How the team overcome it? I mean, this is before John and Lucas joined the team, but this was, I wrote books on, and actually, to be fair, we don't talk about this very often, and I guess it's a really good question, I guess, because it hasn't been brought up before in AMAs before. So when I first wrote books around digital immortality and mind upload, I didn't think that this kind of technology would even be possible to even start developing for another 10 years, maybe. So obviously, with the explosion in AI a couple of years ago, and the explosion, less the explosion in AI, more the explosion in awareness, it really, I remember the conversation. I was sat with Shane, one of the co-founders, and I was on the phone. I said, look, we were in Sri Lanka at the time, and I was sat there saying, we've got to build this. We've got to build this because otherwise someone else won't. And over the following year, I guess, so that was April 2023, and over the following year, we built out the early iterations. We put a small team together, and it took basically everything to get to a stage where we came to the TG and the fundraising back in March and April. And at that point, I'd been bootstrapping everything myself. So, self-funding the project for a year without external capital is not recommended. It's a very tough thing to do, to sort of sit through, watching something that you don't know if it's going to go. The statistics on startups are low, and having to really push through and keep a team motivated and get to a point where we ended up choosing to do a token sale, and we always knew the blockchain element would come in Sensay, so it was an inevitability. But even to launch a token takes a lot of effort, a lot of stress, a lot of time, money, and even money we didn't have. We had to almost bring a team that were confident in our ability to launch token, and staying positive through all that, watching yourself essentially facing bankrupting yourself to launch a project is something that is not an experience I would wish on anyone, really. So when it comes to talking about the toughest challenge, it was and I know Shane and Marco knew this at the time, and so the toughest part of this year was really those 3 months of just having to live extremely carefully, and really just putting all the effort into launching the Sensay token and raising the awareness, and just putting all that sort of personal effort into it, to actually getting through the fundraising. I think fundraising is never an easy thing to do, no matter which way you do it. But that was a lot of weight on me at the time, and it was a big personal challenge. I think The other challenges since then have been, less restrictive. We raised more money than we needed to raise, so we have a an incredible position to be in to build the team, build out the team, build the product in the way we want to. And so the challenges since then are, the biggest challenge, as I have talked about since then, really has been staying focused, keeping the team aligned and focused. This technology has so many potential applications, so many possibilities, so many exciting things and features to work on, that it becomes extremely easy to fall into what we call shiny object syndrome, where we get excited about something and we think, oh, this is the new thing because we see another company doing something, or we just because there's a narrative around something. And it's why we stick with calling our replicas. We haven't just changed everything we do to call them agents, because they're not. For us, it's replicas. They are essentially personalized AI agents, and we make the comparisons there. But there's a reason we call them replicas. It's because that's what they are. We looked at calling them. We've called them loads of different things over the years, but replicas is really the most accurate. Personas, avatars, characters, echoes, agents, everything. But replicas for us is the way forward. But no, a great question. Thanks for that. Let's do a less personal one. For third party, more traditional solutions, will they be able to integrate with you even if they are not using Web3? Yes, is a great question. And yes, I mean, we are very much a Web 2.5 project. We have blockchain elements. We always, even when I wrote those books years ago, I even theorized that the blockchain tech would be a useful solution in terms of when you can create a replica of anyone. In theory, you could create thousands of replicas, or anyone can create a replica of anyone. So you need some kind of authorization and verification system to prove ownership, prove authentication and verification of data and agency. And blockchain really does provide a really great solution for that, and that's why we will inevitably build into the system. But yeah, a lot of our customers come from Web 2 backgrounds, so creating replicas of any sort of senior people, especially in large organizations. So in any big company, in any small company as well, in any organization, it's something like 80% of the knowledge is kept by 10 to 20% of the people. So we're working towards being able to capture that knowledge of those key people to be able to be shared with teams, customers, clients, and expand their capabilities, because it's a lot of work being in a senior position in most companies. And so having an AI version of yourself to lighten the load is one of the best applications of this. So thanks for that one. What we got? I guess John, probably take this one. The question is, I, as a programmer in the future, do I have the possibility of integrating with your solutions using APIs and SDKs?
Yeah, so that was what Dan had touched on a bit in the past in this conversation, that the API is coming out. So in the near future, you will be able to build on top of Sensay's technology using the API and an SDK. Pretty straightforward answer there. It's just the exact when that will be available.
The when is the exact question. I think we've been joking a bit about it internally. Obviously, the token price and action has been very exciting, and it's getting some of the developers excited as well, as everyone should be, right? Everyone's invested in the project. Everyone is excited to be a part of it. So it's nice to see when things like token go up. But every time any of the developers bring it up now, my immediate question to them is, "Where's my API?" And so we're making sure that token action doesn't distract from the work we need to do. Exploring Sensay replica use cases. Can you share a surprising or innovative use case for Sensay replicas that emerged this year? Lucas, any ideas?
Maybe the art field. So we are closely working with some art houses, and we are creating replicas as a digital curators to help like visitors of the galleries to explore more about the contemporary art. So I think it's a really nice use case which we are working on.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. Yeah, we one of the early ideas. I remember we had a big wall of ideas back when we first started, even theorizing which way to go with this. And yeah, sort of interactive guides for museums, galleries, even cities was one of the ideas that we call it like sort of city guides. It's really nice. I think for me, one of the more abstract use cases that hasn't quite come out because it's quite a lot of work and data, but we are looking to actually create these abstract replicas of books as like interactive helpers. And so, you could essentially ingest an entire book into into the training set, and then have this kind of like persona that gets generated from the book as a kind of like a book, as a persona, as a replica of the book, so to speak, and enable that to be like a helpful guide. Like, oh, where does the book say this? And it would be able to pull up the page, or it would be able to actually act as like almost like an interactive guide to the book itself. But John, we have difficulty feeding in that much data right now. Any kind of like thoughts on how we could get past that sort of limitation?
Yeah, you're speaking of the limitation of feeding in an entire book to
create a replica from.
So there would be several ways around that. The limitation you speak of is, of course, the context window, the amount of information we can send at one given time to an LLM. But there are various ways that we can divide that information, give it that context, and then it will have the ability to retrieve that information. So that's actually not an incredibly hard mountain to climb. It's just strategizing the best way of doing it so that we get the best output possible.
Fantastic. Sensay books coming to you soon, along with our studio album created by the marketing team. How does Sensay plan to involve the community more actively in its development and decision-making process? Yeah, so I mean, for anyone who's already involved in on our Twitter or our Telegram, you'll see the team active in there all the time. So obviously, anytime you want to, you can ping me a message. I'm pretty public everywhere. Sensay Dan is the handle. You can ask me questions in the groups or on Twitter, and I'm usually pretty quick at answering. So any ideas, any thoughts, we welcome anyone looking for who thinks they can contribute more to us. Reach out to myself or our HR team. We'd love to hear from you. But also just contribute in general. User feedback, any bugs that you find, anything that you think we could be doing better or improving in terms of the actual way that the application works. Anytime you notice something that doesn't work, letting us know all these things. It's super useful. And we're bringing out like a bug bounty and feature bounty program soon to actually reward people for these different ideas and bugs reports very, very soon. Also, we have our questing platform. So, pretty much every single day there are new quests on there. This is a way of helping us by aligning with some of the tasks that we have that we need the most. So sometimes that could just be as simple as liking and sharing a particular post, or interacting with a different post from maybe an influencer or maybe some kind of different company or partner. But sometimes it can also be more specific posts about contributing content, contributing different ideas to the project, and passing those on through the team that way. So check out our quest page if you haven't already. I guess we can probably share a link at the end of this, at the end of the call to that page, so that everyone can check it out. Thanks for the question. I guess a couple more. Will the AI video aspect be released as part of the API release? Great question. I don't have an answer. I mean, yes, inevitably it will, but it's not planned for the immediate API release. We also, I mean, this is the video aspect is really impressive and exciting, but it is also not the most useful part of what we do. You know, when we see how people interact with the people see how they interact with the platform and the replicas, we see that text-based and voice note-based are the most useful. The video is most impressive, but because it's still quite early in the technology development, it's still quite slow and buggy, and so it's not quite, you know, up to the scratch, up to the level that we'd be comfortable putting out at scale, right? It doesn't work. It doesn't work very well on a small scale, so let alone on a big scale, it would be very, very difficult. And so we're focusing on the things that work really well to begin with, but definitely at some point we will, you know, be doing that. I think we just had a QR code for the Quest platform come up. I will just share that again. There you go. For anyone who's looking to get more involved in community activity, that's the page to go on. I guess next questions. What have we got? How does this project ensure scalability and security platform? Great question, and yeah, I can't believe we hadn't really talked too much about this. You know, we privacy, security, and safety for users and scalability are all super important to us. So, you know, we're compliant with all of the GDPR requirements. We're compliant with as many different sort of global requirements as we can be in terms of privacy. We use state-of-the-art encryption levels to protect user and customer data, and we use platforms that help us to scale in the best possible way. We look at, you know, we're constantly reviewing. We've got a great sort of head of security now who's constantly reviewing everything we do to highlight any major sort of issues and stay on top of them. So in terms of scalability, you know, we've got a few things that we need to implement first ourselves in terms of gamification and, you know, improving that user and replica creation flow. And so we've still got a lot of work to do, but, you know, we build with security, privacy, and scalability in mind always, and this, you know, keeping the focus on it in general. Gonna just blast through a couple of last questions before we share with you our sort of latest YouTube video and advert, and then yeah, and get everyone's thoughts on it. So, how many calls are you going to get from staking Sensay? So, we haven't released the exact calculations, but essentially, if you were staking at the start of November, and we took two snapshots. We took a snapshot at the start of November, and we took a snapshot at the time of the KOLZ TG last week. If you were staking before November, essentially, you know, before we announced the airdrop, then that will factor into the amount of KOLZ that you get, KOLZ tokens. The amount of Sensay that you had staked will factor in as well, and the length of your stake. So if you were staked for 30 days, you won't get as high a reward as someone staked for 360 days. So those are the kind of factors that go into the scoring that will affect the amount of KOLZ tokens. The total amount has yet to be announced, and will be coming out in the next few days, so keep an eye out for that. Only because what's this one? Seem looking to releasing a mobile app for the on-the-go access. Yes, it's not a current top priority, but we should be looking to do something towards that in the next year. It's not an immediate sort of top priority. We've got a lot more to do in terms of improving replica training and improving the sort of user interaction gamification first, but then mobile app will be coming once we've really started to really start driving up really well. So sometime in the next year, I imagine. I guess the project is great, but to hold the community, I think the tokenomics should improve. Having 100 million token every month, a little too aggressive. Yeah, so I think this is a token-specific question. And I guess I can ask this one and another one about exchanges. Exchange listings we can't talk about. If even if there was one, exchange listings we can't announce until the exchange does. So I can't really talk about exchange listings. In terms of how the tokenomics are set, so the tokenomics have a monthly unlock of around about 100 million tokens, which is an unlock. It means they're unlocked, but they don't flood the market, right? They're not being put directly into circulated supply, because if we have enough money to build, then we contribute some to marketing. If the token price is up, then we don't need to do anything with them. So the team will not sell against the community. It's these tokens can be tracked in any of the wallets, and again, anyone can ask me anytime if they're unsure about a particular wallet address and want to get some details on it. But we're here to build this for the long term. It's not some kind of, we're definitely not a meme coin. We're definitely not some kind of project that is going to be around for about 5 minutes. And I am extremely public with a lot of my personal life and information. So I, have no intention of, pissing anyone off, to be honest. So that would go against, I live quite a nice drama-free life and want to spend the rest of it building this incredible technology. I don't have any intention of, creating enemies. And then I guess last quick question, can you say anything about your virtuals tweets? No. You will know when we post about it, but it should be fun. So great, guys. I think that's all we've got time for today. We're going to show our latest promotional video, which I think is incredible. A couple of my friends did it for us, and we're really, really proud of it. So we're going to share that with you now, and then we'll just wrap up with some closing remarks.
Are you ready for your digital twin? Let's go back.
It's rewind time.
The birth of communication. The wonder of hearing a voice from miles away.
Hello. Just a minute, please.
Then, the IT revolution, connecting us not just by voice, but by data.
The world is at your fingertips.
The mobile revolution. We ventured into the world connected like never before. The smartphone era. More connected than ever, closer than ever, which all became a bit overwhelming. Too much information, too many demands. Imagine if you had a helping hand. You, hundreds of you, teaching, scheduling, engaging, buying, selling, your digital AI replica. Helping you focus on what really matters. It's your revolution. The revolution of you. The very best of you. With the power of AI. Sensay.
So I love the video, and I'm very glad that someone convinced me to keep in the girls from The Shining. I think it's hilarious that just pops up randomly in there. Guys, any quick last thoughts before we wrap up?
So maybe again, thanks to our community to be so active, and thanks again.
Yeah, the same here. Thanks to the community being so energetic, so active, and it's great to have an audience and people that are excited about this technology. And for me personally, something that I'm really passionate about in the field of software engineering. So, thank you very much.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and we might have a little community call catch up over the Christmas period. Probably not for more updates, more just like a Christmas drinks with the team type call. And so thank you all for tuning in wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you next time.
In a world where knowledge fades, Sensay lights the path we've made. knowledge fades, Sensay lights the path we've made. From stories untold to wisdom profound, we'll keep your voice where it's always found. The spark of genius, the heart of thought, in every step, the battles we fought. Preserve, extend, and innovate, for the future is ours to create. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this is Sensay. AI built, but human in soul, a legacy carved to make us whole. Through every moment, we hold the light, guiding the way both day and night. Imagine a world where minds unite, ideas soar and dreams take flight. Together we stand, a force so strong, echoing brilliance where we belong. Sensay rise through the ages and time. Knowledge immortal, voices that climb. From the past to the future, we pave the way. Wisdom eternal, this is Sensay. This is the anthem of innovation.